Hello, our Lives channel. Today we will learn about the explosive developments surrounding Rachel Black's devastating secret that threatens to tear the DiMera family apart when an innocent sleepover turns into a nightmare of guilt, accusations, and family betrayal that will change everything we thought we knew about the shooting that rocked Salem to its core. The Horton family babysitting arrangement. The upcoming Monday episode promises to deliver shocking revelations as Julie Williams finds herself in the unexpected role of overnight caretaker for both Rachel Black and Thomas DiMera. This seemingly innocent sleepover arrangement at the historic Horton house represents far more than a simple babysitting gig. It becomes the catalyst for a series of events that will expose the darkest secret Salem has harbored in months. Julie, with her decades of experience managing family crises and emotional turmoil, believes she's simply providing a safe haven for two traumatized children who have endured far too much adult drama in their young lives. The decision to have Rachel stay overnight at the Hortons carries significant weight, particularly given her recent behavioral changes and the mounting pressure she's been under since the shooting incident that left E.J. DiMera fighting for his life. Thomas DiMera, Chad's sensitive and observant son, has been struggling with his own emotional burdens, watching his family navigate the aftermath of violence while trying to maintain some semblance of normalcy in their disrupted lives. Rachel's subconscious confession. The most explosive development centers around Rachel's potential sleep-talking episode that threatens to unravel the carefully constructed lies surrounding EJ's shooting. Mental health experts often note that children who experience severe trauma frequently process their experiences through unconscious behaviors, including vivid dreams and sleep disturbances that can reveal suppressed memories and guilt. Rachel's subconscious mind, unable to fully process the magnitude of what she did when she pulled the trigger in a moment of desperate frustration, begins manifesting these memories during her most vulnerable state. The possibility that Rachel might mumble incriminating details about shooting EJ while sleeping creates a terrifying scenario for the 10-year-old girl who has been living with this burden for months. Her young mind, overwhelmed by the complexity of adult emotions like revenge, anger, and desperation, struggles to reconcile her actions with her understanding of right and wrong. The sleep-talking episode represents her psyche's attempt to release the pressure of keeping such a monumental secret, potentially including specific details about how she obtained the weapon, her emotional state during the confrontation, and her immediate reactions after pulling the trigger. Thomas DiMera's moral dilemma. Young Thomas DiMera finds himself thrust into an impossible position as an unwitting witness to Rachel's unconscious confession. As the son of Chad DiMera, Thomas has inherited both the DiMera family's complex moral code and his father's inherent sense of justice, creating internal conflict about what he should do with this devastating information. The boy's natural instinct to protect his cousin wars with his understanding that serious crimes demand serious consequences, leaving him emotionally paralyzed and desperate for guidance from the adults in his life. Thomas's realization of Rachel's guilt transforms him from an innocent bystander into a reluctant keeper of family secrets, a role that proves far too heavy for his young shoulders to bear. The weight of this knowledge affects every interaction he has with family members, particularly his father Chad, whom he desperately wants to trust but fears disappointing. His internal struggle becomes even more complex when he considers the potential consequences for Rachel, a girl he cares about despite her actions, and the ripple effects her confession might have on their extended family relationships. The psychological pressure on Thomas intensifies as he grapples with questions no child should have to face. Does loyalty to family supersede the need for truth and justice? Can he continue to look at Rachel the same way, knowing what she's capable of? How can he face EJ, knowing his cousin is responsible for nearly ending the man's life? Chad DiMera's paternal instincts. Chad DiMera's growing suspicions about his son's unusual behavior trigger his protective paternal instincts, leading to increasingly direct conversations about what Thomas might be hiding. As a father who has navigated numerous DiMera family crises, Chad recognizes the signs of a child carrying an adult burden and becomes determined to uncover the truth, regardless of how uncomfortable it might make everyone involved. His persistence stems not only from concern for Thomas, but also from his own need to understand the full scope of the shooting incident that has haunted their family for months. Chad's approach to questioning Thomas reflects his evolution as both a father and a DiMera family member, balancing his desire for honesty with his understanding of how family loyalty sometimes requires protecting those we love from harsh realities. However, his determination to extract information from his son creates additional pressure on Thomas, who already feels overwhelmed by the magnitude of what he knows. The father-son dynamic becomes increasingly strained as Chad pushes for answers while Thomas struggles to maintain Rachel's secret without outright lying to his father. The complexity of Chad's position becomes even more apparent when considering his relationship with the broader DiMera family, including his complicated feelings about EJ and his protective instincts toward the children caught in adult conflicts. His investigation into Thomas's behavior represents his attempt to regain some control over a situation that has spiraled far beyond anyone's expectations, even as he fears what he might discover about the people he loves most. The unraveling of carefully constructed lies. The sleepover at the Hortons becomes the setting for a dramatic unraveling of the lies and half-truths that have sustained the DiMera family since the shooting. Rachel's unconscious revelation threatens to expose not only her own guilt, but also the complicity of various family members who may have suspected her involvement but chose to look the other way. The incident highlights how family loyalty can sometimes enable destructive behavior, particularly when it involves protecting children from the consequences of actions they're too young to fully understand. The ripple effects of Thomas's discovery extend far beyond the immediate family, potentially affecting ongoing legal proceedings, family relationships, and the carefully maintained facade of normalcy that everyone has worked so hard to preserve. The revelation forces each family member to confront their own role in either perpetuating the lies or failing to seek the truth, creating a crisis of conscience that threatens to tear apart the already fragile bonds holding the DiMera clan together. Implications for Rachel's future. The exposure of Rachel's secret carries profound implications for her emotional and psychological development, as well as her relationships with every member of her extended family. At just 10 years old, Rachel faces the possibility of legal consequences, intensive therapy, and the lifelong burden of knowing she nearly killed a family member in a moment of desperation and anger. The revelation also raises serious questions about the supervision and support systems that failed to prevent such a tragic escalation of childhood trauma and family dysfunction. The upcoming episodes promise to explore how Salem's justice system handles cases involving child perpetrators, particularly when the victims are family members and the circumstances involve complex emotional trauma. Rachel's future hangs in the balance as various authority figures, family members, and mental health professionals work to determine the appropriate response to her actions while protecting her from becoming a casualty of adult failures and family dysfunction. The storyline also examines the broader themes of redemption, forgiveness, and the possibility of healing within families that have experienced profound betrayal and violence, setting the stage for months of emotionally charged drama that will test every relationship and assumption the characters have held dear. Days of Our Lives spoilers. Shocking confessions, unlikely rescues, and new romances take center stage in Salem. The world of Days of Our Lives, Dole, never sleeps, and Salem's darkest hours often give rise to its most dramatic revelations. As the Blackout continues to plunge the town into chaos, the stage is set for moments of shock, heartbreak, and unexpected heroism. The episode airing on Monday, September 29th promises to deliver one emotional curveball after another, with characters finding themselves forced into situations that will forever alter the paths of their relationships and futures. At the center of the drama is Rachel Black, Alice Halsey, a young girl who is about to be confronted with a revelation that will leave her reeling. The details surrounding Rachel's shock remain under wraps, but longtime viewers know that when a DiMera is involved, as her father Brady and her ties to Kristen make her vulnerable, secrets are rarely simple. Whether it is a truth she is unprepared to face or a reality that changes her perception of the people she loves, Rachel's storyline underscores how even the youngest residents of Salem are not immune to the fallout of adult conflicts. Meanwhile, EJ DiMera, Dan Feuerriegel, finds himself trapped in the hospital elevator alongside Belle Black, Martha Madison. What begins as a tense and frustrating moment quickly turns into an emotional confrontation as long-buried feelings rise to the surface. For EJ, the blackout strips away all pretenses, leaving him with nothing to do but speak from the heart. In a stunning confession, he admits that his feelings for Belle never truly faded, that despite everything, he still loves her. Belle, caught completely off guard, struggles to process this vulnerable side of EJ. Once upon a time, they shared an undeniable chemistry, a spark that burned bright before it was extinguished by betrayal, circumstance, and family drama. Now, face to face in the suffocating confines of an elevator, EJ is offering Belle a glimpse of what could be again. But will she let herself fall back into the arms of a man whose past has caused her so much pain? For now, Belle holds her ground, making it clear that her refusal to rekindle their romance is final, at least on the surface. Yet Salem history has shown us that love, especially forbidden or complicated love, rarely dies easily. While EJ and Belle battle emotions in one part of town, another surprising rescue takes shape. Leo Stark, Greg Ricart, who often finds himself the butt of jokes or the center of scandal, has an opportunity to step up as a hero. When Leo stumbles upon Gwen von Leuschner, Emily O'Brien, trapped behind one of EJ's state-of-the-art, high-tech doors in the new hospital wing, he doesn't hesitate to help her escape. For Gwen, who has often been left to fend for herself, this act of kindness could signal a turning point. Could Leo and Gwen, two outsiders with questionable pasts, forge a genuine friendship, or even something deeper, out of this moment of solidarity? Fans know Salem has a knack for turning unlikely pairings into some of the most compelling storylines. Elsewhere, the Blackout creates another dire situation when Marlena Evans, Deidre Hall, collapses on the sofa at the townhouse. Enter Susan Banks, Stacey Hayduke, whose eccentric presence often masks a deep loyalty and sharp intuition. In one of the night's most unexpected twists, Susan becomes the guardian angel Marlena desperately needs. Rushing to her side, Susan ensures that Marlena wakes up and begins to recover, then turns her quirky yet heartfelt determination toward uncovering what's wrong. For Marlena, whose life has been threatened by everything from demonic possession to serial kidnappings, this frightening collapse may be just the beginning of a larger mystery. With Susan on the case, though, viewers can expect a blend of comedy and sincerity as she fumbles her way toward the truth. The Blackout also sets the stage for romance in the most unlikely of circumstances. Chad DiMera, Billy Flynn, still navigating the grief and complexities of his past, finds himself drawn closer to Kat Green, Annalyn McCord. Their budding relationship may seem unconventional, but Chad's determination is unmistakable. He makes it clear that he is ready to pursue this new romance, even if it means braving the judgment of his family. For Chad, Kat represents both a chance at healing and a new beginning, and he's unwilling to let the opportunity slip away. The chemistry between Chad and Kat continues to grow as they spend time together in her powerless home. Without electricity, they are forced into intimate, stripped-down moments that allow their connection to flourish free from outside distractions. For Chad, this is more than just a passing fling. This is the possibility of love that feels alive again after years of sorrow. As he considers sharing the news with his family, Chad proves he is no longer hiding from life's challenges. Instead, he is ready to embrace love and all the complications it brings. Taken together, Monday's episode of Days of Our Lives weaves together themes of love, loyalty, vulnerability, and resilience. Rachel's shock, EJ's confession, Marlena's collapse, Gwen's rescue, and Chad's pursuit of happiness all remind viewers that in Salem, the darkness always gives way to the light, but not before testing every character's strength and resolve. As the Blackout continues, Salem becomes a crucible where relationships are tested, truths are revealed, and lives are changed forever. Viewers are in for an emotional roller coaster, one that underscores why Days of Our Lives remains one of the most gripping and enduring dramas in television history.